We're an essential business, and we're here to take care of your essential car needs. So let's go on in. You can also visit our website and see all kinds of updates about our business on our website as well, vipauto.com. You can see we've got curbside service available, so some call it touchless service. You can come in, give us a call. We check in your car from the parking lot. You never even have to come in the store if you don't like to, and we take care of your car. We sanitize it afterwards, and we'll let you know when it's ready to pick up. Okay, so here we are in the store, and you can see our plexiglass here and all the different measures we're taking to make sure that we all social distance and keep everything as sanitary as possible. Our health, our employees' health, and our customers' health is number one priority for us during these times. And we're here as an essential business, like I said, so we can take care of your essential automotive needs. So let's walk on over here and meet Sean Shanahan. Morning, Sean. Good, good. So this is Sean Shanahan. Sean is our Master ASE Certified Technician here in Lawrence, Massachusetts. And I'm going to ask him a couple questions here so you can get to know Sean a little bit. And then we'll walk out to the shop, and we're going to do 10 questions in 10 minutes during this Conversations Over Cars episode today. Once again, my name is Tim Winkeler. I'm the President and CEO here at VIP Tires and Service. I'm here with Sean Shanahan in Lawrence, Massachusetts today. And here's the first question for you, Sean. How many years have you been turning wrenches?
How many years? I've been doing this for over 23 years.
23 years of turning wrenches. Love it, huh?
Oh, yeah. It's great.
Good, good. And how many of those years with VIP now?
Just over 7 years now.
Over 7, yeah. You started back in 2012.
Yes, sir.
Awesome, awesome. And lastly, how many ASE certifications do you have? We know you have the master certification, which is 8 of them, but how many total do you have?
I have 10 in total at the moment.
10 ASE certifications. You got another one on your list?
I got a lot more on my list.
A lot more on your list. Okay, great. So Sean is our Master ASE Certified Technician here at Lawrence, Massachusetts, and we have taken 10 questions from VIP's Facebook community during the Win It Wednesday session yesterday, and we've got 10 specially selected questions that we're going to ask Sean in rapid fire. We call it 10 questions in 10 minutes. We're going to do that from the shop, so let's take a walk out to the shop, and Sean may even show us a few things while we're out in the shop, some of the hands-on stuff related to these questions we've got. So let's take a walk. All right, so here we are with our 10 questions in 10 minutes. And once again, this is Sean Shanahan. We are in Lawrence, Massachusetts at the VIP Tires and Service. And question number 1 comes from our Facebook fan, Bonnie Nielsen. And Bonnie asks, are rotating tires still recommended when not driving much because of COVID, Sean?
Well, Bonnie, rotating tires typically just depends on mileage and the wear of your tires. So letting the car sit doesn't necessarily mean you need to rotate your tires. So I would just go by the manufacturer's recommended time and rotate your tires accordingly by mileage.
There you go. Great question, Bonnie. Thank you very much. Question number 2 from Ron Holmes. Ron, hope you're watching. Ron's question is it good to put a coat of hard wax on your vehicle after the winter?
Ron, putting a coat of wax on your paint is good any time of year. Any protection is better than none whatsoever. So I would suggest any time's a good time to put wax on your car.
The only thing I would add to that is it's really good after winter. It's probably really important before winter.
Absolutely, yeah.
Before winter is, that's when your car is going to see the worst of the salt and the grime from the roadways. So before winter is probably the best time, but this is sure a good time as well. Number 3 comes from Emily Rogers. Emily's question, Sean, is when do I need to take my snow tires off if I'm not driving around a lot right now?
Well, snow tires, every state has its own restrictions on if they're studded or not. So I would go by what your state recommends. Also, you'd want to get them off as the weather gets warmer, typically around April, I'd say, because snow tires are a softer compound, and you don't want that for when the weather gets warmer. They tend not to work as well as a all-season tire would.
Great answer, Sean. Yeah, that's really important. So our next question number 4, Crystal Oliver. Crystal asks, what's the best way to check your oil, and how often should we check our oil, Sean?
Well, the best way to check your oil, I would say, is most cars have a dipstick, some do not. Definitely consult your owner's manual, and check to see what they recommend. Some also recommend it being off, some recommend running, different variations. So make sure you do that. For instance, let's check this one here. Come over, you find your dipstick. On most cars, it's going to be a yellow dipstick. You want to pull it out, wipe the dipstick, put it back in, pull it, check it again. A lot of cars will have, this one has two circles. This is right in between, so it's actually a little low on oil. This here would be full. Some have crosshatch, some have these two circles here. Also make sure your car's not running when you check the oil. Definitely make sure it's on.
Great tip, Sean. Personally, that was actually the very first thing my dad ever taught me about cars when I was young, is how to check the oil and how to change a tire. Those were the first two things I learned. So, all right, our next question is from Robert Phillips. The question from Robert is, should you flush and fill your radiator before servicing your AC, Sean?
That's not something you have to do before servicing your AC. That's something you would want to do, for scheduled maintenance. Whenever your cooling system is due for a service, or anytime you come to VIP, we're going to check your cooling system and all your fluids and let you know if it does need that to be serviced. But absolutely not to be done together.
Great. All right. Good question. Our next question is from Alexis Porter. Alexis asks, how often do I need to change my oil, and should I use conventional or full synthetic?
All right. What's her name? Alexis?
Yeah, Alexis.
Okay. Alexis, on that one, that's another thing you want to look at the what your manufacturer recommends. Conventional oil will get you less time, but most of the cars nowadays are using a synthetic oil anyways. Synthetic oils we typically recommend around 6,000 miles, between 5,000 and 6,000 miles to do your oil change. But once again, you definitely want to look at what the manufacturer recommends, and you will get more life out of synthetic than you will conventional.
Sean, I've even seen on some vehicles, if you go under the hood, it'll actually have a little sticker or label that will say full synthetic, and sometimes it even specs out what weight of the oil is, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of cars will tell you the weight of the oil, everything like that too.
Yeah. So even if you don't look into your owner's manual, you might be able to see it just by popping open your hood. Okay, our next question comes from Artie Mirzakin. And Artie asks, is springtime a good time to change the air filter in my car?
Anytime's a good time to change the air filter if it needs it, to be honest. But actually, for instance, we have one come in today. That is not a clean air filter. As you can see, all the black. So periodically checking your air filter is always a good thing. And that's where I start with that one.
Yeah, and I guess, Sean, just in general, probably another reason for questions like that is we get through this winters in New England, and a lot of people aren't thinking about this kind of stuff. They're just getting through the winter, right? So springtime, we start driving a little bit more. That's when a lot of people start to think about this kind of stuff. So
another good note is typically through the winter you have animals nest in your air box as well. So we see a lot of that, a lot of acorns, nuts, stuff like that in there, and big nests inside the air box as well.
Yeah, we got to catch those critters in the spring. Okay, our next question comes from Kim Gorton, and Kim asks, how often should you replace windshield wipers?
Well, Kim, windshield wipers, they suggest you replace them every 6 months to a year. But if you notice any streaking, any problems with the blades, take a look at them, see if they're torn at all, anything like that, and they should be replaced. It's definitely something you should really focus on for safety, especially driving in the rain. And definitely check them before it rains, because most people don't realize they need wipers until it's raining.
A couple other notes on that, Sean. I agree with that. 6 months is what I've always believed on that. Could last up to a year. Sometimes it depends on the quality of wiper you buy. There are higher quality, more expensive wipers that may last longer because of the rubber compound used. If you buy the cheaper wipers, you're definitely going to want to replace them every 6 months. Okay, our next question comes from Carol O'Kelly. And Carol asks, when is the best time for a wheel alignment? Spring, summer, or is there any difference in when you do an alignment at all? So let's talk about that. She's got two questions, but let's talk about the first one. When's the best time to get your wheels aligned?
Well, we do recommend after the winter because typically you'll notice there's a lot of potholes in the road. Anytime you hit a pothole or anything like that, it could cause the alignment to go out. Once again, we also do free alignment checks here. So anytime you need that check, we can check that for you free of charge.
And we actually offer that with any service.
Yes. Yeah.
So even on your regular oil changes, you bring the vehicle in for an oil change, we're going to check the alignment anyway. Her second question was, when should we do AC maintenance?
AC maintenance.
Yeah.
On that one, that's kind of a touchy subject. On that one, I mean, if you feel it cold or you don't feel that the AC is blowing, adequately to your liking, or maybe you notice that it doesn't seem like it's working as well. That we can go through, probably in the springtime. Best thing to start with would be checking your cabin air filter. That would be one, we're not getting enough air coming through. We can check that. We would also check the refrigerant level. Make sure you have enough pressure in there and everything's good with that also. But yeah, that's a personal preference if you don't feel that it's blowing good enough or cold enough.
Yeah. Great advice, Sean. Thank you. All right. And our last question, number 10 out of 10 today on our 10 questions in 10 minutes, is from Betty Hambrick. And Betty asks, what do you recommend as priorities to get my car ready for spring? What are the top 3 things, Sean, that they should think about getting their car ready for spring?
The top 3 things?
Yep.
Well, me, for spring, it all depends also if the car's set over the winter,
Okay.
There are people that only drive their cars in the summer.
Yep.
I would absolutely, check your tires.
Okay.
I'd check your lights. And the other things would be cooling system.
Okay.
You absolutely want to make sure your cooling system is going to be good for the summer. You can also check that as well.
Yep.
Any of those things is what I'd recommend you check for, getting in the springtime. Or if you're just starting to drive it again, obviously do a walk around, check your lights as well.
Yeah. The only other thing I would add to that is probably batteries. And once again, we do a free battery test as well. So you can open your hood and check and see if there's corrosion. Like I see a little bit on that battery right there. But you can take a look at your battery and then we'll do a test for it for free to see how many cold cranking amps it's putting out, right?
Correct.
Okay. Well, so those are our 10 questions in 10 minutes. Once again, I'm Tim Winkler, President of VIP Tires of Service, and this is Sean Shanahan, our ASE Master Certified Technician here in Lawrence, Massachusetts. And Colleen, do we have any audience questions today?
No audience questions right now, but
Okay.
I want to show the battery
Sure.
with the corrosion
Point that
so
out.
that if somebody's looking at their battery, they're doing their walkthrough,
Yep.
I want to show them what they should be looking for if it's going to be corroded.
Yeah, see, this is the corrosion here. This is it. See how this is all coming off?
Oh, that's great.
So that'll eventually cause like a bad connection between the terminal and the battery. So we'd want to take this off, clean it, and we'd put a coating on here and a pad underneath that'll absorb this, and the coating will keep that from happening again.
And one other thing, so a lot of people are not driving their vehicles at all right now because they're at home or something. What's a good tip for them if they're not driving their vehicles for extended periods of time?
My best tip would be at least start the car, drive
Yeah.
it up and down the street.
Yeah.
The biggest problem you'll see with a car when it sits for a long period of time is the brake rotors. They develop rust. And when it sits too long, then you start driving it, you'll get pulsations, you'll have to have your brakes replaced and things like that. So I would suggest, at minimum, starting the car, driving it up and down the street at least once a week, just to make sure that all these things are still going to be working correctly.
And get all those fluids moving too, right?
that too.
So idling is not going to help them. You have to get out and you have to drive.
I would recommend that, yes.
All right, that's great. Thank you.
Okay,
No more
well,
questions.
I think that's it for today's episode of Conversations Over Cars. And always remember, if you're looking for more information, you can go back and watch past episodes, or you can go to our website, vipauto.com. We've got all kinds of handy tips there. We've got an education center there. We've got videos from other guys like Sean throughout the company. And next week, you'll want to join us in West Lebanon, New Hampshire, when we're going to be with our Master Certified Technician as well as our world-class technician in West Lebanon, whose name is Brent Runnels. And we're going to go through some more questions with Brent next week. If you'd like your question answered on a future episode of Conversations Over Cars, then make sure you join Facebook on our Win It Wednesdays, and that's when you can submit your question for one of our master technicians to answer in one of our upcoming episodes of Conversations Over Cars. Thank you, everybody. Drive safe, be safe, stay well. Thank you.